All right, so in that last one, we created an activation key using hash lib. This activation key is going to be useful for us, and now what we need to do is actually create the view to handle the activation process itself, because we can send out the email, but we need to create a view that handles this URL that is basically sent back, which is called a callback URL for this user. So let's go ahead and open up our views on accounts, and underneath registration view, we're going to go define activation view. It's going to take in a request, and it's also going to take in an activation key, which we'll have to set up in our URLs. So I'm going to just go ahead and give us some space here. All right, and do render, return render, and just request, and let's say accounts slash activation complete.html, and it'll take in a context. So that context, we'll just leave it as an empty dictionary for now. Okay, so first off, we need to actually check whether or not this activation key fits in the realm of the hash lib that we created. Now, luckily, there is a regular expression that we can just use. So I'm going to actually go to the very top here and import RE, which stands for regular expression. And I'm just going to set one, and it's SHA1 underscore RE. So this is the hash library that we used, and then underscore RE would be the regular expression that we're creating. And that's RE compile, and the caret, it's going to be A to F, 0 to 9, and then 40, and a $sign. All right, so this was created for us. This is some regular expression. Regular expressions can get a little complicated, so I'm going to leave out on how to actually form regular expressions. If you want to know more about the regular expressions itself, go on codingforentrepreneurs.com/suggest and suggest a project for that, or shoot us an email. Otherwise, we now have this regular expression, so we can actually use it to check our activation key. So first off, I'm going to do is sha1.search and activation key. So all this is doing right here is checking whether or not our activation key actually fits with this search. So before we get any further, I am going to create the URL to actually do this. So let's go and find our URLs. And the URL, if we look back at our models, we already started doing a URL. So let's go ahead and just copy this right here and go into URLs. URL R. And then we'll put our activation key here. And that's going to be accounts.views.activation view, and name activation view. Put a comma at the end, and let's get rid of this first slash. So we need to actually create a variable just like what we did up here. So we can just go ahead and copy one of these. I'm going to copy the add to cart one, but instead of the minus and plus, I'm just going to do /w just like that. So this right here, again, is coming from Django registration, so we're just using their URLs because it's something that works, and like I said, it works well. But we're just modifying it in a way that actually works for our project. Now, of course, this needs to be a different name than slug, so if we go into views, it's going to be activation key here. So URLs, activation key. All right, so now that we've got that, let's go ahead and try this out. The first thing I'm going to do is go in here and just type out accounts, activate, and some list of numbers up, or a list of items here. And view does not exist, so let's go ahead and check out why. Activation view, I believe that's the name of the view that we set. And it is. If anything, it should be saying the template does not exist, not the view. Accounts.views.activationView. That looks right. Let's try that again. Do just a little refresh in here. And invalid syntax line 55 in our views. Up, 2 returns. Should be return render, not return. All right, so we refresh in here again. And now it should say template does not exist. That's good. But we did print out, and it says none. So it's printing out the activation key, or the fake activation key that I wrote in here, which says none. So it's saying that it's actually an error. All right, well, that's good. Let's actually grab an activation key that works. So I'm going to copy the one that we created just a moment ago, or in the last video, and then go ahead and hit enter here. And now it says that there's a match. Great, so that's a good sign, right? So that means that we have our activation key that actually works, and if somebody enters one that is not an activation key, it's going to say none. So that's one check that it's going to do that's correct. So now we have if this is real. So if that is an actual activation key, then we're going to actually be able to do some stuff here. So print activation key is real. All right, and let's go ahead and create the activation complete HTML right now. So I'm going to copy this and go into our accounts, go to new file, save it, account activation complete, extends base.html, and then block content. All right, so now we've got our URL for it. Do a refresh with our activation key. It says activation complete. This is not the right activation key though, so let's actually go back to the right activation key. And there we go. So let's actually change our context and go in here. What we actually want to do is first we're going to check to make sure that this is real. If it is real, then we'll return a render to response. Else we'll raise an HTTP 404, which I'm going to have to import this into from our shortcuts. So now if we have, let's do a refresh in here, activation key complete or activation complete. If I do another one, it's going to say page not found, which is good. That's what we want to see. And then now in here, we need to actually check our model to see if that activation is there. So let's go into our models. We need to import email confirmed. So back into our view, we're going to go down here and do from .models import email confirmed. And now we'll do try user confirmed equals to email confirmed.objects.get activation key equals activation key, and then we're going to do an exception here, and we're going to accept email confirmed does not exist. Does not exist. Then we are going to raise a 404 again, and I'll say user confirmed equals to none. And then if user confirmed, so if the user confirmed is not none, basically, we can just say is not none. If user confirmed is not none, then we'll say, actually, if user confirmed is not none and not user confirmed dot is confirmed, or well, actually, let's go back into our model to see what it is, or just it's just confirmed. So models is So if it's not none and it's not confirmed, then we want to change the user confirmed.confirmed equals to true, and then user confirmed.save. Else, we want to do else if user confirmed is not none and user confirmed is confirmed. So the user is confirmed. Then we would want to say some message. So I'm just going to write print already confirmed. And then else, we'll just do pass. Because if the user is none, then it's likely not going to raise anything. And the context here, then we would change how the context is going to be. So now we can actually just go ahead and confirm that user. And up here, I'm going to do print user has been confirmed. So I'm going to make it a little less confusing. I'm going to just change this to being user, or actually better yet, instance. And change this to instance, this, just so it's like when we look at it later, it's just a little bit easier to understand what was going on. So instance being, of course, the email confirmed instance. And then if it's confirmed, then the user's been confirmed. If it's not, then so on and so forth. All right, so let's go ahead and actually confirm this email. Going back into Chrome, and we click on this, hit enter. It says activation complete. Look in terminal. User has been confirmed. Activation key is real. Very good. Let's look into our admin here to make sure. Oh, actually, I could just refresh this one. Do a refresh in here, and now we've got it confirmed. That's great. And actually, what I'm going to do, if it's confirmed, I'll do if instance.confirmed. Actually, I'm going to just leave this out, and now that it's confirmed, I'll just change instance.activation key equals to confirmed. So now the activation key, there's no real reason for us to keep on activating it. And then now in already confirmed, this would probably be maybe the message on stage. So just page message. And then for confirmed, we would say page message, you have been, or maybe confirmation successful. Confirmation successful. Welcome. Okay, so page message, and then else we would just put it as nothing. And now our context will be page message. All right, and now in our template, we can put this page message in there. So now instead of activation complete, we put our page message. And going back into our activation, let's go back. It says already confirmed. And that's going to be here. Great, so that means that we now have our confirmation and all that stuff's working. So let's actually do the entire step, or the whole entire process from registering all the way back down to activating. So I'm going to go back into home and delete that last user, ABC. Go ahead and delete it. Go yes, I'm sure. And then let's go back into accounts and register here. ABC, coding for entrepreneurs, 123, 123, join, and it's loading. And it looks like it loaded, so let's go ahead and open up that email. Bring that over, and I'm going to go ahead and click on it. And here we go. Confirmation successful. Welcome. All right, cool. So let's go into admin. Let's just double check it again. So we go into user stripes. Should only have two in here. The first one is ABC. Perfect. And then email confirmed. We have a true one, which would be the one we just confirmed. Activation key goes away because this person has already been confirmed, so that works. And yeah, so that is it. We created our email registration and all that. Now there's something that we want to do for our actual register page and then also our login page. We want to add some redirects in because right now they don't redirect. They don't do anything. They just sit there, right? So it just sits there. And notice I just logged in and we've got something going where it says views has no attribute activate user email. So let's see what's going on here. Signals. And let's see where it's actually coming. Login view line 23. Views, login view, line 23. This right here, we do not want that anymore because we had that before, but that's actually no longer the instance method, and we no longer need to do that on login. All right, so that's it. That's doing registration. We've got our email set up. We've got all this stuff set up. There is a few more things that we do need to clean up, which is what happens after they submit a form. We'll clean that up, and then we'll also clean up how the message comes through this right here, so it's a little bit more dynamic than what it currently is. All right, let me know if you have any questions. Otherwise, we'll see you in the next one.